Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we're diving together into Psychic Cup with a team that was suggested to me from my Discord server by a member of this community and one of the best subscribers that I have had in a while, and that name of that subscriber is Pokeslow. So this trainer reached veteran using this team and I just couldn't resist by not trying at all. So yeah, here it is trainers, let's see what we got, because Rapidash is gonna be up in front with its amazing moveset and the new high horsepower on its arsenal. So with that said, at the back we have Galarian Slowking, which has the legacy move Surf and Shadow Ball to obliterate down whatever remains at the back alongside your Victini. So I decided to double move my Victini and I did not regret at all. This Pokemon is absolutely insane already as it is with just the Vic rate, but just imagine having overhit for that extra damage when shields are down or when you want to snipe down your unsuspected opponent. So over here they have a Victini of their own, and to be honest my second Vic rate has to be blocked, and right after I will return to the battle with my Rapidash. So they're gonna throw here, which is kinda weird to be honest, because they could still finish me off with those quick attacks, and now they put themselves in a vulnerable position, but I'm gonna take whatever they throw at me. So yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of that weakness that they have, and now we're just gonna proceed into the next one with a Claydol up in front. So at the back they have a Charmer, and this is obviously very good news for my Slowking, but seeing that Gardevoir going in so easily makes me think that perhaps they have a second fairy type at the back, which is also pretty good news because my backline is super strong against those fairy types, and this is the main asset and the main thing that this team is taking advantage of so that it can be pretty useful against any opponent. So Shadow Ball here obviously has to be blocked, and right after we can charge up almost pretty close to that high horsepower and still throw my Body Slam. They decide to block, which means that whatever there is at the back might be just pretty weak actually to my Rapidash. So at this point I'm just gonna let my Rapidash go down because I have a feeling that even if they have a Braxis we can still finish it off with a double V grade. Instead it is gonna be our first assumption and our first hunt that we had, and look at that, that hunt was pretty cool because they have a second fairy type and one V grade will most likely destroy down the remaining HP that this Rapidash is having, and one more for the Claydol before they reach to those deadly mud slaps. Into the next one now with a Victini up in front. This is not looking that well. We have to get out of there to our Galarian Slowking, which happens to be our safe switch. At the back they have a Malamar, and yeah, this can always be kinda tricky, but still we can provide a lot of pressure with our moveset. So Surf is gonna do a nice chunk, and as I'm trying to reach to the Shadow Ball I go down because for some reason I over tapped over here and down I go to that Psycho-cut. So yeah, that was obviously a mistake, and I'm putting myself in a very difficult position because now we are having kind of a good amount of energy on our Rapidash, but still we need to catch the move on the Victini. Hopefully we can do that, but it still depends on what they might have at the back. To my good fortune it is gonna be a fairy type, so right here the battle is definitely not over yet. I know I can survive one Body Slam, but I know that the second one has to be blocked. But first I need to charge up as much as I can to that Vic rate, and right after we will try to obliterate down the remaining HP that they have. So now Victini returns to the battle and we're having the overhit for big damage on that Pokemon. So let's see trainers, can we reach to 3 of those Body Slams against Victini? One goes down, one shield I mean, and I cannot reach to the third Body Slam, so instead I throw the high horsepower, down I go, and unfortunately we're gonna fall short to this trainer. If only we could reach to that Shadow Ball before, that outcome could have been a whole different scenario. Another Victini over here, so let's see if we can turn things around this time. This time also we're gonna be met up with Rapidash on the switch, which is kinda weird, but still we can have a very even battle if they want to play the long term with the shields. So here comes the first shield, and I think that I have to shield as well. No, I will not shield. Okay, Ganeto, and I can still farm down. Wow, just wow. I did not expect that at all. So anyways, having now the Surf, which is a mistake, I could easily go here for the Shadow Ball with an extra Hex, but for some reason I didn't. So many mistakes, as you can see. If you can not do those mistakes and jump over those obstacles, you're gonna see that this team is even better if you are a better battler than me. So over here we're just gonna switch out into a Rapidash, trying to get a move from that Victini, and of course right after we can still reach to the Body Slam to do massive damage on their Pokemon. Of course they're gonna block, and right after we're having now the return of our Victini, but this time with the overhit for big damage output on the defensive debuffed Pokemon of theirs. Another overhit is coming up. Can they withstand it? No, they cannot. Even with the debuffs on our attack stat, we can still grab this victory. Rapidash now on the mirror. Let's see how this is gonna end, because I think that we're gonna see a switch pretty soon enough. Yeah, here it is, trying to catch a Mega Horn or whatever, I believe, but still I was not expecting a high horsepower. That's why I switched out into my Slowking. Able to catch the move effectively, it is gonna be the Body Slam, and right after the Surf on that Claydol. Unfortunately, we cannot reach to that final Surf, which is a bummer, but still we can block the next move, keep farming up, and right after we got another Body Slam from our Rapidash this time to finish off that poor Claydol. I was thinking that they blocked because they had all that energy stored up, but as it seems they went for that extra Mud Slap, and right after we're just gonna farm down with our Rapidash. Down we go in the process from their own Rapidash, and at the back they have a Victini. So you might be wondering, Ganeto, you are doomed. Well, you are not wrong, because here comes now the Vic Raid, and right after we have one more ready to go, but the battle is not over yet. Their Vic Raid here will grab my final shield, and they can get those CMPs, which is a bummer, but I will perfectly undercharge here my move. This means that we can farm a little bit extra and still reach to another double Vic Raid for the knockout against Rapidash. This was a big brain play from my Victini, and I think that this secured my victory. So into the next one now with a Rapidash on the mirror once again. So let's see how this is gonna unfold this time. Am I gonna go for the switch? No, I'm just gonna stay in and reach to my Body Slam against their Pokemon. So as it seems here, we have the upper hand with those IVs getting those CMPs, so perhaps we need to take advantage of that. I'm just gonna shield here because I think that I can have the upper hand anytime I want, and here comes now another Body Slam from my part. Down they go without spending any shield at all, so they want to keep the shield advantage. To be honest, having the shield advantage on Psychic Up is always the better scenario. So here I'm just gonna call it. It is gonna be the Surf, and right after we have a Surf of our own to grab their first shield. We need to pressure here for the Shadow Ball knockout, so perhaps I need to block. No, I'm just gonna let that move go through, and unfortunately down I go. Hopefully though I can still return to the battle with my high horsepower, so perhaps they are not gonna expect it. Big damage output, but still they blocked, and this is gonna be a bummer. The battle is not over yet because I still have a Victini and they have no shields at all. It is gonna be the Malamar, so by blocking here we might actually have a chance by destroying them down with a simple overhit, and this is why you need overhit. At first I was thinking that Vic Raid is the only move that you might want to have, but still I saw that overhit is the absolute better move for that situation. And yeah, as you can see, without overhit we would absolutely lose this battle. Into the next one now with the Gardevoir up in front. Not the best lead ever. I think that we still can lose it under the one shield because Shadow Gardevoir with those Shadow Charms can absolutely shred apart whatever doesn't resist it. So anyways, now on the switch we're met up with a Claydol, which is also pretty good for us because we can still grab a shield, at least a shield out of them, and right after we are just gonna go ahead and protect our Victini even more by finishing off Claydol with our Rapidash. We know that they have the Gardevoir, and at the back they also have a Victini of their own. So too many Victinis today on Go Battle League. Doesn't matter, we can still block whatever they throw here and still reach to my Vic Raid. As it seems they are debuffed, they decide to debuff themselves first, so this means that we can easily block the next move. It is the overhit, oh my freaking goodness. And of course now that Gardevoir returns, we got the Vic Raid ready to go to obliterate down this Pokemon. Pokémon, and one more, but this time the overheat for the extra damage output for that Victini, and of course we can get that sweet victory to end this video. Thank you for watching, trainers, and for staying till the end. This team was super fun to run and I really recommend it to you. Before you go, just leave a like, and of course please consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my content here on YouTube. And speaking of more of my content, here are 2 videos that you definitely need to check out. With that said, thank you for watching once again, and I hope to see you all into our next upload.